Happy New Year, everybody. This is Pixis Designs. We are going to do just a small mod today. And when I say small, it's going to require a lot of pieces here. For those that saw where I posted up just a small render of my Stinger war rig, everything's finalized now, I hope. We're definitely going to find out today after I get everything put together. This thing is going to be ginormous. These mods will be up on my Etsy later today, as long as everything goes as planned. So yeah, let's kind of go through a walkthrough and all the pieces. Everything that you see here is stuff that I'm pre-assembling. You will not have as complicated as an assembly once it gets into your hands. But I'm just kind of showing off how many parts are in this whole setup. And there is quite a bit. So I'm kind of missing two sets of wishbone pieces in here because we're still printing. But for those that are familiar with my Stinger monster truck, this is the mid chassis, or the sub assembly that actually raises this off the ground to be able to accept these monster tires here. So the set that goes with the monster truck are the two sets of lateral supports, the wishbones that actually connect to two sets of these, and then the RC looking front drive and rear drive systems that is the full entirety of the monster truck. So once I built off of that, I developed all the rest of this stuff so that I could make an actual full-sized war rig. Those that have seen me on the Joe groups know exactly what I'm talking about, but you will be able, well, the thumbnail of the YouTube video will show the entirety of the project. But we're going to go through a sub-assembly, final assembly, final showing of what all you'll be getting in this package. I will be selling two packages. For those that already have the monster truck pieces to build the Stinger monster truck, I'm going to sell this whole set without those pieces, with the exception of two of these. Because I did have to lengthen the track on this to be able to accept the wider rear piece here. We'll get more into that here in a minute. I'm trying not to deluge you with too much information. This set I already sell in my shop, but this set will be, this is the His Tank side missile racks. This will be coming with a whole set. Everything you see here pictured will be coming with one of the versions, because you'll need everything, all of this, to be able to create the war rig. But for those that have the monster truck, I will be excluding those pieces at a cheaper price if you've already purchased. It's not many of you. I think I may have sold maybe 25 or 30 different 30 listings of the monster truck. So for those that want to go the extra step, you can get the I'm going to package it like Group A and Group B. Probably the B version will be minus the monster truck. But please read the listing just to make sure that you get what you need off of this. Okay, so, and just to reiterate all this, to build the monster truck, the war rig, to build the war rig, you will need to purchase these separately. I've been kind of tinkering around, maybe possibly putting up a listing for me to purchase these for you. But I'm not there yet. My mindset says, I could go ahead and do it, but I can also point you to a listing for you to purchase it yourself. These are on Amazon. A set of 4 is $50. You'll have to buy 2 sets. I've got my extra set of tires up here. I will be making a trailer for this to utilize those 2 tires up there. So don't think that you're going to have 2 tires not doing anything, because I will be creating a trailer for this whole war rig setup that'll utilize those 2 tires. So because I want to be able to use my 2 tires as well. So it'd probably be just a good idea but if you, to buy 2 sets of 4, $50 a piece. I know it's like $110 to, buy them all. But they do have sets that you can buy 2 each, and you'll have to purchase it 3 times, obviously, because you got 6 tires. If you ever have any questions about stuff like that, please reach out to me on my Etsy account, not my YouTube account. Reach out to me on my Etsy account at Pixis Designs, and I can direct you to the correct listing that I know will fit on this war rig. Okay, that is quite the introduction. So, I don't know, let's kind of go over how many pieces we got here to create this monstrosity. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 47, 48, 49, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 96. So about 100 pieces here. And that's not including the wishbones, which are not showing up in here. So it's right at 100, maybe 100, 105 different pieces on this whole setup. So you'll understand why I'm charging what I'm charging to create the war rig. You're talking about, at least well over 100 different pieces to create this whole thing. And I see my printer has finally finished up on my wishbone, because I was kind of waiting for it. So there's your added extra 4 pieces. No, there's 2 more there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're probably looking at about 110 different pieces to create that. And this is the whole subassembly to raise the Stinger up to be able to fit the monster truck tires. You would have seen my 2 videos back where I did the video on the monster Stinger. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up, and we're going to go through subassembly. Again, this is not what you'll need to worry about, but you'll at least be able to see what all is involved with doing the subassembly setup, and then the full assembly setup for the full Stinger, for the full monster rig. War rig, crap, words are hard today. So I will be right back. Okay, so I got most of what I need out of the way, most of the big pieces. I just need to clear up a little bit of space for me to be able to work. Again, for those, I think I posted my version of a HISS tank to be able to utilize the side mount missiles for those that wanted to keep their HISS looking like OG and they didn't have anything to do with these. I made them for my HISS project, that way you can use them for a different HISS tank. Anyways, it's quite a few videos back if you ever wanted to see my version of the HISS, which is like a little troop carrier. So I want to be able to use this asset. Again, look a video back, you'll be able to see this on the side of the war rig. But we're going to do a quick assembly on this missile system here. It's pretty easy. Not so easy to get the missiles off. It's a pretty tight fit, but they can be removed. I just, as many times I've played around with the classified stuff, or just, original 3.75 inch stuff, I never really removed the missiles for anything, because you're always losing them. So this will ensure that with the tight fit that they are, you're not really going to be losing anything. I hope I got these going the right way. Yes, okay. So just showing you that these are separate pieces and they can be removed. You just kind of have to be pretty ginger about it. They're pretty tight. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. They're very tight. But these are modeled after the original HISS tank pieces. So as far as dimensionality goes, is that even a word, dimensionality? The blast effect should be able to work on this. However, this thing is sitting right behind a tire. So you may not be able to fit too many blast effects behind these, maybe on the top pieces. But there's the first one. We'll get that set aside. Missiles go up. And the lighting is really poor in here today. Either that or I'm just like really getting blind, which is not unsurprising since I did turn 50 here last month. There's that side. Now again, this is not something that you're going to have to worry about as a customer. This will already be assembled. All you'll have to do is slide it into the side of the war rig and you'll be good to go. There's the other side. So something I need to do is I need to clean up a little bit of this part where there was some support or brim. There's that. Missile's done. Okay. All right. So next we are going to do the loader system. Now, these are some changes that I actually made to it to be able to work better for the most part. So I hope this takes. I modeled it and just printed it and just put them up here. So these, for lack of a better word, are prototypes just to make sure that everything works. But I do not see any reason why this isn't going to work. So let's get this thing put together. Now, as far as printing is concerned, you always want to make sure that structurally you're working with the strongest part of a print. And so in printing, the strongest part of the print is always going horizontal with the bed. Anytime you're stacking layers on top of each other, these are always the weakest part. When you're stacking them, like when you put a part like this, like say in halves, this is going to be stronger this way than this way. So I had to split each arm into halves in order for this to be able to be at its strongest, so you don't have to worry about anything breaking apart as like you're playing with the Joe Smasher or whatever you want to call this thing. So this thing is going to be taut. When you stick this on the side of the vamp, you don't have to worry about this ever sagging or breaking or whatever. So this is probably the strongest part of the whole setup. Yeah, so let's get this put together. I'm going to try and, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. So these two pieces here actually mount onto the inside here. And by the way, this is the first time I've actually shown the full Stinger. I wanted to make sure people knew what it looked like, what all you had to take off in order for this to be able to be turned into a war rig. So I put all the stock accessories on there. And then later on I'll put my add-ons, mods, whatever to this to show you what it would look like with the Stinger setup versus the mods that I sell in my shop. So full of words today, let me tell you. All right, so I'm probably going to have to get a hammer in here. And I'm going to get that as well. My little aluminum 1, 2, 3 block. By the way, I also went to school to become a CNC machinist, so I made that. I went to school to become a CNC machinist back when I was 18, which was 30 years ago. Okay, make sure I'm doing this right here. Yeah. Because I do not want to have to pull this thing apart. So again, this is all the sub-assembly that I'm doing before that you actually get the products in your hand. Your job as a consumer will be pretty easy compared to what you're seeing me do. So again, what these will do is these will plug into the sides here. And what I was just saying, you know, always the strongest side of the print are always horizontal with the bed. I had to make these attachment pieces to be able to go into this piece. Here. Just like that. So everything is in its strongest possible printed position. So yeah, that's the first side of the loader arm. So at least now you guys are kind of understanding whenever, you know, makers like me come up with our prices, you'll see what we're actually doing behind the scenes to get these goodies into your hands. This stuff takes time for us to do, and the prices need to show you know, what all we're going through to make sure that you get the best quality product that you can possibly get. This isn't just one of those things where you can just make it and throw it in a box and be good with it, you know. Okay, that's that side. So now we're going to do this side. Oh, it's out of the way. Okay. There's that one. So you got simulated traction plate here, and these will fit inside your side step, and these will attach to as well as attach to the roll bar that's on the side of the Stinger. So that's those two pieces. So here's my Joe catcher, cattle catcher. I don't even know what even to call this. Looks dangerous as all hell. So the changes that I made to this versus the previous prototype is actually add mushroom peg onto this now to where this should never have to pull apart. So I guess we can go ahead and try to attach this now. See how well this works. Nope. There you go. Slipped right on in. Just like that. Now, I'm going to be gluing these together, so you don't have to worry about seeing, you know, that come apart. I'll be just laying a little bit of glue all the way down through here. That's something I'm going to do right now. because this is going to eventually have to ship to somebody. So there's that. We're knocking through stuff here. So we've got the Joe catcher, cattle catcher. We got the side missiles done. Let's now work on the bed. So let's talk about this real quick. Part of the reason why I decided to do this whole thing is because on my monster truck I just wanted to go bigger. But then somebody had reached out to me saying, hey, can that monster truck setup work with the gridiron ground pounder? I'm like, no, because of so many reasons. Not only are you you're going to a bigger tire setup, the fenders have to be pushed further out. There's just no way logistically for me to be able to break theirs down to be able to work with what I'm working with. So I decided to create my own setup, but not be like the ground pounder. I had some feedback on my original prototype of this, and a lot of people said that they would like to make it wider, so I made it wider. So this is a much wider setup than what is in the gridiron ground pounder. There are quite a few things you can fit back here. You can fit the Scrap Iron's little drone. You can actually fit the ATV in here. The rear door doesn't close all the way, but you're pretty close to where, I mean, shit, I've seen pickup trucks running down the road with ATVs in the back of the beds with the rear door not all the way down. So this would be the same sort of situation. So I tried to model as much as much detail as I could in here. Diamond plate, I don't know how well that's going to show up. Diamond plate rear piece there. Simulated truck bed. So yeah. So let's go and get this thing together here. First thing I want to do is put my simulated wishbone axle on the bottom of this thing. So we're just going to, again, this is all printed in the best possible orientation to not break. So which would be horizontal to the bed. This is probably the hardest part for me to assemble because these are really tight snap pegs. Watch me just make a fool of myself here. So you may or may not see me struggling with this just for a few minutes. And it actually went in pretty good. So there's that. And do the other side here. Oh, things are actually going in good today. I say that. There's that. So that's where your rear tire is attached to. Okay, let's see. We've got our rear bumper. I have a simulated. Yes, that is definitely a thing that we're going to be able to use because I made a full drop hitch for this thing to be able to be used with the SMS. So I want to see how well it fits. You know, usually when you're working on model space, not everything's, you know, perfect dimensionally. I can't even think of the last time I measured the SMS where it is distance-wise, but this should be pretty close to be able to pull the SMS. If it's not, I'll just change some dimensions on it. So we're just going to put the bumper in. Just like that. Cool. And you see I got some simulated brake lights in there. Okay. Now we get to the juicy bits. We get to the side pieces here. And I need to clean this up real quick. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to set that aside and put my taillights in. So, not that one. For the most part, these should be press fit. So just so you know that when they ship to you and you find a piece that may have fallen out, they were press fit at the time. You just may need to dig into the package and find them, and possibly just add a dab of glue to them. Probably more than likely I'll just be gluing these in just to make sure that that doesn't happen, but I'm just, being funny here. Okay. There's that. There. And reverse slide. Y'all, I wish there was a better way to do this. The Bamboo Labs are great machines, but when you're talking about color changes like this, it is such a time waste and such a filament waste. If you're going between black, silver, red, black, silver, yellow, black, silver, white, you're talking about a poop pile of about maybe that big to be able to do that. And you may have some bleed off, so sometimes it's easier just to make separate pieces to just press fit in. So there's a reason why I'm doing this. I left a little bit of support on that. Let's get that off. Okay. So there is your full side. Make sure I move the support off of that one. Yeah, we're good. All right, so before we get too involved with what we're doing here, I need to add some magnets. You'll see why here in a minute. So up on top of these pieces, this is the top. Up on top of these, I will be adding magnets to this because I want to make separate attachments for this. The first attachments that you'll see is just more like a bunker face. I don't even know what you even call those things, but to make sure shooting holes. So I may have to do this off camera just to get them in there. Trying to hold this up while press fitting these magnets in can be a kind of pain in the butt. So let me do that and I will be right back. Well, It just so happened that I've got my first casualty. So what had happened was, what I wanted to do is for longevity reasons, anything with plastic and you have free moving attachments like this, things do get worn down over time, like if you're constantly opening up the tailgate. So what I decided to do was model in a spot to put a magnet in the very back here. That way, as this thing is going up over time, you'll have a magnet to keep it in place to make sure that doesn't fall. Now, remember what I said earlier about your strongest position for any type of print is horizontal with the bed. Stackable layer lines will crack if you put too much pressure. So that just happened where I decided to put a magnet here. I've got a little crack here. So for final piece, I'm going to make this hole just a little bit bigger, and these magnets will end up having to be glued in and not press fit from here on out. So don't think this is indicative of a product that you'll receive. I'm just going to make that hole bigger, put a dab of glue on the other side of that magnet, put it in there, and we'll definitely be Gucci after that. So have just a slight blemish on this one. This will be my own personal one. It's no big deal really. I'm just not going to put magnets in the rest of this because for me on this one, this is going to be the same thing where you have these lines going up. Trying to jam a magnet in there will cause this to split. So I will have to make the hole just a little bit bigger on the tailgate as well. So I'm not going to go ahead and put the magnets on these for now, but just know that the finalized product will be there. We'll have those magnets to make sure that over time, as this thing is opening and closing, they will seat. So there's that. It was kind of a last minute decision to put these magnets in the tailgate, just because I knew that, the plastic over time doing stuff like that, it will wear. But I wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to happen on mine or yours either. Okay, so I want to go ahead and consider this done. These are fine because, again, the way these printed horizontal to the bed, you're not going to have a splitting issue. It's just whenever you're printing, vertically, stacking the layers on top of each other, that's where you have the issues with this. Okay, so Molly panels. You've got Molly panels on each side. These are press fit. These are a lot easier press fit than what putting the magnet in there is. So should not have any issues with these splitting whatsoever. You should be able to put any backpacks, stuff like that on the sides. Just like that. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this thing assembled. This will be the fiddly part. This is not something that you will have to worry about, because I just found out about 5 minutes before I walked into my shop, once I pulled one of my other bed attachments off the Stinger, a much easier method. I know on my Facebook page, I rated this install at around maybe a 7 out of 10, because trying to fiddle around with these pieces and get everything attached can be a real pain in the dick. But now, I am pretty certain that I can ship this whole thing to you already assembled, to where you only have to do a few steps to get this attached to the Stinger, and I am much happier about that, and I'm sure you guys are going to be much happier about it too. So now you get to see me fiddle with this to try and get everything together. But it won't be that bad once it gets in your hands. This whole thing will come assembled to where it only takes you like maybe a couple seconds to get it attached. It was kind of one of the things where I was probably the most afraid about, because I know certain people have a little bit different dexterity issues than others. You may have an arthritic person trying to do this, which it can be, everything in their world to try and get this thing together. it could be a real pain, you know, and some of us are older. I mean, even I think that this is kind of a pain in a dick to deal with. That's actually why I have arrow markers on here in case you wanted to pull these apart. That you can actually do that. So let me get that side put on and get this put on. Just like that. So that's one side. Again, these little arrow markers that you see point to the mushroom slides that actually attach to the side panels. So this also helps for those that actually want to customize. That way they know what to pull apart if they need to. Let me put my tailgate. Actually, I'm going to put the pieces on the tailgate first because trying to get this all put together is going to be kind of a pain in of itself. All right, so these are kind of like tie down spots that you can do maybe with zip ties, string, simulated bungee strap, whatnot. It'll allow you to tie something onto the back of the tailgate itself. And I've got a lot of these on here. And I may or may not have to break out my hammer to do this. And I may or may not have to do this off camera. This is even hard for me to see. Let me get a light over here. Okay. Now, as you see, these are press fit. They can be pulled off. Yeah, I may have to do this with a hammer. So I'm going to pause this and be right back and get these put in. Be right back. Okay, I went ahead and put the rear door on it as well. So there's all the pieces put into it. You have a opening compartment here to be able to store some stuff. It's like that. And of course the ramps pull out. So definitely a dual purpose tailgate here. So that's all put together. Okay. So again, fiddly part. One of the things that I was worried about you as a customer would have to do, but you will not have to be doing this. So you'll see me get frustrated here in a minute. Oh, look at that thing, popped right on in. However, trying to do the other side will be fiddly. I am more than stoked that you will not have to do this. And I'm probably going to go ahead and model a recessed piece in here just so this fits flush. It may look like it's not fitting flush right now, but once it relaxes a little bit, it will be okay. I'll get that fixed on the final product. It'll take me like 5 minutes of modeling. So there's your finished back piece. You got your slide out ramps. Bob's your uncle. Okay, I think for the most part we have all the important pieces done. I do need to throw some magnets onto this piece real quick. But I think what I'm going to do is use my other set that I already have over here. That was my original prototype pieces. That came out perfecto. So these already have the magnets in them. So, however, I didn't think about them being the wrong polarity. So it looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and put the magnets in the ones that I got over there. Oh boy. Was trying to be cute and push for time, but I guess I am stuck having to do this. All right. So what that tells me is that I am going to have to make sure my polarities are always correct on these for production purposes. Because that is no bueno. And again, I'm going to do this off camera. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now I can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, the magnets to it. Everything just snaps in just like that. So again, I will be working on different attachments as I see time to do it. I want to make a covered roof version with a like a big main gun, but that's to come at a later date. This should be good for now. It'll just be an addition inside my shop to be able to purchase separately. So that's that. So I think we have everything together that needs to be together. So what you have here, make sure I got everything in frame. You've got the main part of the bed, the missile attachments. Get that put on. Get that put on. And then you've got this. And of course, speaking of, this will be, those for that recognize this is kind of like my fastback attachment for the Stinger. You should be able to, for those that have purchased the gear rack, I'm going to test this just to make sure. This whole setup will be coming with this, no doubt. But if you have purchased like the gear topper, snug top, it attaches the same way. So as long as you pull like that rear door off, it'll be a pain in the butt. You could possibly break something, but if you're never using that rear door again, you should be able to use this with the gear topper to be able to put gear stuff on here. Actually, let me see. I'm brainstorming here, so give me just a second. Let me get this attached real quick. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, as I thought, the rear camper shell door will be a problem for this. That doesn't mean that I can't just make a gear rack without the door, which is probably something I'll do. That way you can actually have a way to be able to store stuff on that back piece if you want to. The main reason why I'm keeping this open for my fastback is just to be able to utilize the Stinger missiles or whatever attachments you may want for it. So we'll go through that here in just a second. But for the most part, I think everything is done that I need to do. Let's start on the full assembly. Let me backtrack here. So this is what you will be receiving. Let me break this down here real quick. Get all my sides done here. That is the longer one, so this is the front one. I don't know why I had 3 of these out, because I don't need 3 of these. I forgot. Okay, so two different listings. Again, the first listing is going to have everything to create the war rig. That means you're going to have the monster truck chassis. You are going to have the adapters to be able to raise everything up. The front Joe Crusher, the two side stack missiles, and this as well. So everything you see here will be the first listing. I will have pictures listed. That way you know what all you're receiving for the war rig. Now the second listing will be without this because there are several of you that have already purchased the monster truck. So basically, for those that already have the monster truck attachment, this is what you'll be receiving here is the two new rear adapters for the Stinger and everything else that you see here. Yes, that is correct. So now let's get into assembly and get this puppy put together. Okay, so here's your Stinger. We're just going to show what it looks like with the stock attachments. So we're going to remove the missiles off. We're going to remove the tires. Set them aside. And there you have just the Stinger body ready to be attached to everything. So let's turn this into a monster truck real quick. We're going to put this adapter on the rear. This adapter on. We're going to put this adapter on. And that adapter on. So there's that. Now you see how much it raises this thing up. Okay. Then we're going to put this over here. So here's your monster truck sub chassis. You'll just plug these little wishbone sections into here like that. Like so. There's your raised sub chassis for the Stinger. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the top pieces off because they'll probably fall off. Y'all, this is so much easier than when before I finally came down here and kind of stumbled upon this. This is so easy. So all you'll do is you'll just squeeze these two pieces together. I mean, don't squeeze them so much that they break. I mean, they can break, but they flex just enough to be able to fit underneath this window frame. So put your first side in, bring it all the way to the edge. And what I mean that is I mean put it underneath the lip and squeeze it to where you actually hear a visible or an audible sound. And then you take the other side. Take the other side like that. Click it, just like so. And there's your attachment. And to finish off, making sure everything is as stout as possible, you'll attach your fastback piece. Just slide up underneath there, clip it down, just like that. So there's your full war rig assembly. Okay. Then you just get your side missiles. Fit them in. Just like so. Put that on. Like so. Your Joe Crusher here. These, again, going back to the beginning of the video, these actually fit underneath the roll bar. And then this piece right here will snap onto the roll bar. So you're pretty much encompassing the whole piece of the roll bar here on each side. And I hope you can kind of see, I can probably bring this down a bit just so you can see what I'm doing here. Just like that. Alright, so you're taking this piece, sliding it in, just like that. It's tight fit. Swing that up. Now again, these seams will not be there because this piece will be glued together for the pieces that actually go to the customer. Okay, that's that. That is your full look without the tires. And let's now go back up so you can see the whole thing because it's fucking huge. We'll go that. Now we'll get the tires put on. These tires are always directional, so these are on this side. And this listing will show where I purchased these tires from. Again, you can always reach out to me to ask the question what tires actually work well with this setup. Oop, yeah. I don't know. Let's pull that aside real quick. Get these tires put on. Okay, now we'll get the monster truck piece put on. Okay, there we go. And that, my friends, is what this will look like with a stock Stinger. Missiles don't work very well. They take up quite a bit of room, so probably not the best ideal. When I originally designed all this up, I made it work with my mods, which would end up being this, which is sold in my store. It's like that. Let's not look at that real quick. Let's set that aside. For those wondering, let me get this. Let's see. Okay. Just like that. Now I know the question will come up. What gridiron mods work with this? I have no idea. I assume their doors and their roof will work with this just because that's what they sell. But anything attaching to their Nerf bar, the lower rock sliders, this will not work with because this is utilizing the same setup as theirs would be. So if any of their stuff attaches the rock sliders, then their stuff won't work with this. But this at least shows you that the stock Stinger setup works pretty flawless with this whole setup. There you go. Look at that big old booty. Okay, so what can fit in the back? Let us look at that real quick. We're going to put the tailgate down, slide the ramps. Yeah, I barely have enough room on here to do all this. And again, this door will be fixed for the production versions. First, scrap irons drone. Plenty of room for that. So much room. Yeah? Cool. It almost goes all the way down it. How about a treble bubble? Yeah, without the gun, it'll fit perfectly back there. Treble bubble is a go. The ATV. Let me back this thing up. Get it in there. Look at that. Pull up the door. That's how much it would go up. So, I mean, once they release a bigger printer, I don't know what just happened to my camera there. It needs to stop though. Once they release a bigger printer, I can make a longer side, maybe an XL version that actually fits the ATV all the way. But you know, it's pretty close. Just like that. Okay. Let me go get a SMS missile system and see if I was right on my dimensions as far as that goes. I will be right back. There we go. Now we have the SMS attached. Now, again, this is with my aftermarket hitch attachment to the SMS. I could probably stand to move that up maybe 1/8 of an inch, but it's not much. Let me get the stock SMS attachment put on it, even though it's like completely garbage. Let me see if I can do that here with the camera. Yeah. Okay, so either I will have to modify that to be able to work with it. Honestly, I don't know who the hell would even use the stock hitch. It's just, guys, it's just awful. I mean, it doesn't hold anything. It's so, it's just so fiddly. It doesn't hold anything structurally sound or whatever. So I'm probably just going to leave this the way it is. If you want, my attachment is in my store. Buy it. You'll be much happier because it's just more sturdier. It's not fiddly at all. Come on, camera. It's not fiddly at all. So that is what you're looking at, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to get this whole thing in screen here because it's so effing massive. Cool. All right, so let's get my mods put on here. For one, show what it looks like with my bumper setup. Let me take this thing off here. Yeah, there's there's like no room inside here to be able to do all this. Okay, let's take. All right, I'm gonna have to attach this back. Trying to do this with one hand is nearly impossible. Okay. Yeah, you see who's driving that. Okay, sold separately in my shop. The Stinger missile setup. We're going to attach that. Then we're going to attach the front windshield. Like so. Then we're going to attach my roof. That. And then we're going to attach my doors. So, and then we'll attach, this is actually my vamp bumper that I sell, but the Stinger bumpers should also fit as well, as all it is just a different upper beam with some hooks into it. Let me just plug that in. Let me disconnect the camera again. Let me move this missile system out of the way. Oh, this is a long video. Okay. And there she blows. Ah. All right. Really hard to get all this in one frame, but I think you see what we got going on here. Okay, that is it. I feel like I showed you everything. We walked through all the pieces that are involved with this. We walked through the assembly process, the sub-assembly process. Then we walked through your assembly process to be able to attach this to it. I will make a little note to not do the monster sub-assembly chassis till the very end. Go into your put the wheels on the adapters first, and then put the sub-assembly on there. So we'll go through all that. These are sold separately in my shop if you want to purchase them. Or you can use, I don't know, Gridiron may have something that actually takes most of that up. So you can, I don't know what those pieces are. Those pieces out there that have Gridiron will know that. So much more room in there to be able to put stuff. And you can see how much wider it is. Dimensionally, this back piece is roughly 2.5 inches wider than the actual vamp itself, I believe. It could be 3 inches, especially when it comes to the top piece up here. Okay, but that's it. I am going to get this put up in the shop today. The listing will be in the description above. Just make sure you read everything that there is to read in the details section of the listing. That way that you are informed about what all you are getting into. And that is really it. This is the Stinger War Rig. Now I get the joy of trying to edit this whole video together. Yeah, there we are. Hey y'all, Happy New Year 2025. Hope it's a good one. I will probably start off with maybe 25 of these in my store. They do take a bit to print. There's a lot of pieces there when you're talking about 100 different pieces. This is not something that a person keeps in stock since there's, I don't have that big of a shop. I am going to go ahead and start printing some pieces though right now just to go ahead and get a jump on things. But I'm probably going to put a two-week lead time on this just because, usually when people buy this stuff, they buy it in droves. 25 is going to be a lot for me to get all put together. But make sure you've got your wheels and tires on order on Amazon. I will put that link in the listing. Yeah, I think we're ready. Think we're ready to go on this. This is the Stinger War Rig. Listing goes up today. I think I'm all done with all the information I need to give you. Reach out to me if you have any questions. This is Pix Designs, signing out.